Alright, hello, my name is Vanjo, and welcome to the first part of the tutorial series for the Huntsman controller. In this video we will be discussing what the Huntsman is, what the design intent was for this one, why I made it, and then also we'll be doing some gameplay, some showcase of like how it works, and we'll also be doing a teardown where we're going to be opening up a couple of these controllers. So that we can see what you're going to be working with if you ever decide to build one for yourself, and hopefully provide some knowledge of like what to expect for the assembly of this controller. And with that said, I guess the first thing that we got to discuss here is what is the Huntsman. The Huntsman is a flat form factor 3D printed controller that is basically a combination of a all button arcade stick and a full pad where you can see there's an analog sticks here, so you won't be missing any functionalities. And also like the name kind of like came from being like a look of a spider, and as you can see here, these are the eyes and these are the fangs of the spider and this is the head. But anyways, here I have a controller for a PS5. This is a DualShock 5 controller, and as you can see here, you will be using this this pad like so, but on the Huntsman you will be using it like this, and as you are moving the analog sticks, you are free to still press the face buttons as you are moving that. With the pad, you're kind of just stuck with doing this or doing a claw grip to access the pad as you move the joystick. But here, and right there, you could kind of see that you're removing your hands from the pad, from the analog sticks. But here, it's just all accessible from your fingers and that. But yeah, so basically, the layout is all the same as how the PS5 controller is set up. As you can see here, face buttons, and then shoulder buttons, R1, R2, and then directional buttons here on the left side, directional buttons here, and shoulder buttons, L1, L2, and then on the bottom we have the analog sticks, left analog, right analog, and all working with R3 and L3 buttons too. And on the top here, so that you won't be missing any auxiliary buttons, this will be the menu button, this will be the start, this will be the second button right here is the touchpad button or select, and then this one is going to be your screenshot button, and then this one, the last button right here, depending on what you decide to build, between the GP2040 version and the Brook Gen 5X version. This will be a function button or the PS button. So yeah, I think that's it. Let's see some gameplay. Okay, so here we are on Monster Hunter Wilds, and this is pretty much the main game that I designed this controller for. So as you can see here, the main reason that I really like using this controller for this game is navigating the item menu in this game, because I can freely move still, and I can switch out by clicking the directional buttons, switch out my my radial menu, and then I can still do this for the bottom item selector. So that is pretty much like one of the main reasons that I made this controller, is specifically for this game. But also the ergonomics is also a main thing for me too. So I guess we could also just show a little bit more on the weapon usage. So we can just go here in the training area. Okay, and then we can show a little bit of the movement here. Let's go smash mode here. And as a hammer user, it's really handy to be able to do the spin attack and still have access to the cameras. So, okay, and that's pretty much it. Just gonna hit this a couple times. As you can see, I'm still able to move around the camera a lot, even if I'm using the face buttons, because
my thumbs are free. And my index finger is also free. So there's that. Alright, and with that I guess we could go into a hunt. There we go. That's a hunt. Sweet. So that's the Huntsman in action. I think we're gonna move on to a different game on the next clip here. So yeah, I'll see you on that one. Okay, so here we are in Silksong, and this is one of the more notorious runbacks in the game, so we're just gonna run that real quick. And this time we're running the Hornet Huntsman, and as you can see here, I have octagonal gates on them to aid with the directional buttons, with the directional positions of the joysticks, so it's easier to do diagonals like that. Okay, so yeah, because it simply just locks into those diagonal positions, right? So we're just gonna run those and go from there. that's the run back to the area. Hey. I'm not sure. Do we move on to another game? I suppose we could show off just another game here. Yeah, we'll switch out for another one.
We're gonna have to fight our way through. Get ready. Any idea what the hell this is? Not one of your block buddies? Then I guess we can just go and blast it. Get all those missiles. how we say good job.
Alright, now that you've seen some gameplay, I guess the next part we'll be discussing is the different versions that you could build for this controller. This one right here, this is running a Brook Gen 5X PCB, so that it's all fully compatible with a PS5 controller. You could also use the older Brook PCBs. I believe the PS4 fighting board and the Xbox fighting board has analog sticks compatibility, but for full PS5 compatibility and other like PlayStation consoles, PS4, PS3, and older Xbox, this Gen 5X version is gonna have the most range of console compatibility. So if you're gonna be playing on console, I recommend using the Gen 5X. The next one here. This is a GP2040 version. It's running an RP2040 board, which is this little guy right here. This is running a GP2040 firmware, and it will be compatible for PC, PS4, PS3, Xbox, and Switch. The other one is also compatible with Switch, by the way. And as you can see here, this one is a Monster Hunter build. And yeah, let's show the next one. I have another one right here, which is a Silksong build that has Hornet on it, and I made this for basically Silksong. As you can see here, we have octagonal gates that will help for the diagonals and all that. So yeah, this is also running a GP2040 version board. So yeah. So I think we're gonna start with a teardown on this one right here, so that you could see like the wiring that's going on the inside. Let's go with that. Before I actually open it up, I just want to show off that you could take this off without really taking the rest of the screws out. So this is an independent panel. All you need to do is remove this screw and this screw, and yeah, you can open it up. And you can replace it with whatever, if ever you want to work on something that has the octagonal gates. And with those two off, you can just tap it out. It should just slide out like that, fall off. And as you can see here, that's the analog sticks that we'll be working with. We're going to be looking at it. We're having a better look at it later. And this is the joystick panel, I suppose. Analog stick panel, and this is one where there's a octagonal gate. There's also one where both of them are octagonal gates, and there's also a version where only this left side is the octagonal gate and this is the circle gate. So yeah, let's proceed with just opening this one up again. Alright, last screw. And with that out, we can open up the case. Okay. As you can see here, we have 3 custom PCBs here, one of which being 2 pieces. The first custom PCB that I had to make on this one is these 2 right here. These are unique PCBs that I had to design so that it can take. It's basically a keyboard PCB that I kind of like just played around with, so I can like make it the same format as the ones that I showed above, where this is the face buttons and these are the R1, R2 buttons. Just makes it easier so that you don't have to like hand wire each one of them and solder them on. And yeah, on this one, that's the face buttons, and on this side, this is the directional buttons and the L1, R1 buttons, L1, L2 buttons. I mean, sorry. And on the top here, we have the one that I was talking about earlier, the analog sticks. And on this one, I am running Hall effect analog sticks designed for the PS5. These are PS5 analog stick modules that is using a breakout board so that you can get all the signals that you need and connected to the Brook PCB that I was talking about earlier. This will be the board that we'll be using for full PS5 compatibility, and it's just all connected right here, all nicely cable managed with some zip ties and all. I'll be showing you how to cut all these on a later video, where I'll be showing the wiring and how you're going to be like measuring your cables out and all that. This one, going back to the analog stick, this one is also like a board I designed myself for this project, so that its its orientation is facing the proper way. We don't really have any of these. All these boards are we don't really have any of these in the market right now, so I just decided to just make myself. All these boards will be you will be able to order from PCBWay. I'll be sharing the project files for it, so that all you need to do is add it to cart and then set up the maybe I think it's just the color that you need to change for it, but everything else should be the same. But you will be able to order these guys directly, so that you could like just prepare yourself as well. Just put this on, and I think that's about it for that one. Let me mention this one. To connect the PCB to this outside so that you have a way to connect it, I'm using a just a USB-A to USB-C dongle right here, and it's connected with this cable right here. So right there you have a USB-C, and it's just taped down with some 3M tape, double-sided 3M tape, and then we're using a 1 foot cable here just to connect to the PCB, USB-A, USB-B, the printer cable kind of things. And that's how you pretty much like connect it to the outside. And what else? The buttons, right? The menu buttons right here. So it's just all. It has let's see here. These are the menu buttons that I'm using for the top pieces. This is a 12mm push button where there's screw-on terminals, so that you just loosen that and then put in your connections and then tighten it back down, just like these guys right here on the Brook board on the bottom here. So, but this one is just holding it with the tension of the screw. But anyways, I think that's it for this one. We can move on to the other build that I have, which is the Monster Hunter one. Which is running a GP2040. The wiring is going to be generally the same as the other one, as this one I mean. The only difference is that it's going to be using a GP2040 board, which is going to be mounted on this area right here. I will show you later, so let me just close this one out. Alright. And with the last screw out, we can take this joystick panel off, and we could also take this bottom piece out and show what's going on the inside. Now this one is the main difference that I was talking about earlier. This is not using those PCBs that I was using on the other one for the buttons. It's just all hand wired using some Kahil hot swaps, which are, just grab those, sorry for the noise. It's gonna be these guys right here. That's not it. Oh, grab the wrong one. Let's see. It's this one. Sorry. Yeah, it's these guys right here. Some Kahil hot swap sockets, where you just wire it in, and then this is basically what goes into the mechanical key switches right here. So this is your mechanical key switch, and you just put it. So right here you can see that, and then you could just put it in like so, like that, and just let it hold it, and then you put on your wires into these leads right here. So yeah, and with that, it's all hand soldered pretty much. So if you want your life to be easier with making this controller, I recommend getting one of those one of the PCBs that I had on the other controller from earlier, because if you don't, you're just gonna end up with these guys right here. I mean, it's not bad, it's just a little bit of solder work. So if you're not too confident with that with your soldering skills, I recommend just going with a PCB. I mean, you'll be doing some soldering on that too, but I think it's easier compared to these ones. But if you're confident with that, there's no harm on like doing it this way. It's gonna be a lot easier or a lot cheaper for you as well, because you don't have to like buy those PCBs off too. You just need to hand wire it like this. And yeah, I will be teaching how to do this as well on the next tutorial videos that I'll be showing off on this series. But basically, yeah, this is what you're going to be ending up having, where it's the ground wires with the black ones. You don't need to follow this color scheme, but I like having the black as the ground wires daisy chain, and then we have the signal wires kind of just going out on its, like, for every single one on its own. So yeah, this is what you're going to be ending up with. And in this build, it's using a GP2040. So as you can see, it's kind of the same as the Brook board that we were using earlier, but here the wiring, the position of the PCB is a little different, where it leads over here, and it's just all connected with that with this small board right here. So I'll be sharing how the pinout for this one is going to be, and I will be sharing the files that you'll need to install it on this board, and I will also explain how to do that on the next videos, where I'll be showing off the soldering and the setup for this board as well. And now it's connected with the USB, with this short USB cable, and just like the other one, it's connected to a USB-C to USB-A dongle. And yeah, it's pretty much the same, and it's also using the same analog sticks that we were using on the other one. So yeah, I think that's about it for this one. I think I'm just gonna open up the Silksong controller as well, because that one is using a GP2040 board, but it's also using the PCB for the buttons. So I'm gonna be closing up this one, and then we'll proceed with the next one. Alright, and now with that out, just like the other ones, we can now open it up. Take off this joystick panel. There. Side. Okay, and yeah, as you can see here, same thing as the Brook version, but on this one, it's using the GP2040 or the RP2040 board with the GP2040 firmware, and the button PCBs that I was talking about earlier. And yeah, there's not much difference on this one. I mean, just like I said earlier, it's just the full setup of what you're going to be expecting, where it's the PCB, button PCBs, RP2040, and the analog sticks PCBs. So yeah, I'm gonna close this one out. Just wanted to show you, it's the same thing, honestly. I just wanted to show you this one as well. So I'm gonna close this one out, and then yeah. Alright, and with that, you guys have seen all the insides and what's going on the controller. Hopefully you've gained some insight on like what to expect with the build when you eventually build this one yourself. And hopefully it did not scare you away. Honestly, it's really easy to make this, so hopefully it didn't discourage you from in seeing all those stuff on the inside. So the next video will be, I think it's going to be set up for the parts list. So we'll be discussing what parts specifically you will need, and I will provide some links on where you can buy them, or what to look for when you're buying them. You don't need to follow it all one-to-one. But anyways, now I'm just rambling. Yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.